It's good to see all of you. Thank you for coming. You know, it's finally here. Everybody looks forward to college football season, first game. I guess, you know, we are no exception. I wish we had a little more knowledge about everything. I feel like there's a distinct advantage for UAB in that regard, in that they know a lot about us, and we're having to study South Alabama and Jacksonville State and anybody and everybody to try to figure out what they're going to do. Some of the personnel is different, and a lot of the same personnel, the guys that were there last year and have played in this game. So, you know, I got a high regard for Bill Clark. Been a tremendous head high school coach and college coach, coordinator, D-coordinator, and head coach, and certainly knows exactly what he wants to do, what they want to do, and how to coach them up. Several guys on his staff are associated with Troy players, and other guys that have worked here that didn't play here, but Chuck Dunn being one, and but there's 3 or 4 guys that have close ties to Troy University football that are on their staff, and so you know, we'll have to make sure that we're well oiled and well prepared, and do the things it takes to win any game, and that be, you know, being able to take care of the football, rush the football, do the same thing on defense, take it away, and stop the run, and then the kicking game being the great equalizer, or the way that you can make some things good happen for your football team, field position wise and otherwise. So, you know, we're trying to make sure that we're prepared. The heat has been a factor. It is tough. You know, we've tried to schedule inside some, which has been productive. The heat is so strong that it's hard to stay out there long in the afternoon at the time we go out, especially on the turf. We practice on the grass a lot in camp, and there's certain things we need to do in the stadium, especially offensively and defensively, and kicking game also. But we have had to have we've had a constant battle with the heat, and I think Chuck Ash and the training crew and Richard Shaughnessy and all the folks that have something to do with student-athlete health and preparation have done a good job advising us in that regard. So we're looking forward to a chance to win a ball game. You don't know how good you are until you play somebody else. You don't know how you're going to respond. We think we're better in some areas, and so we're moving right along here with the off day today, which is our normal game week off day, Monday. And we hope to get our prep as close to finalized and practice it for the next 3 days, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, travel on Friday to Birmingham. Any questions?
With a team like UAB, it goes a little rivalry in state. Is that kind of fun to kind of open up with a game like that?
Well, it's probably fun for y'all and the fans and all that. I don't know how much fun it is for us. It's work, especially when you have the situation. And I don't know, you know, TV rules, I guess. 11 o'clock in Birmingham, Alabama on a Saturday that's going to be 95+ degrees. Don't make sense to me. And, you know, but we're going to have to deal with it. Our kids are going to have to deal with it. Our coaches are going to have to deal with it. Our fans are going to have to deal with it. All the folks in the same categories at UAB going to have to deal with it. So, you know, I just think sometimes we talk about things and pay very little attention to what's really important.
But there have been some pretty good games in this rivalry back and forth that's kind of established this as a good, fun rivalry, I guess, on the field for fans.
It's fun if you win. Fun if you win. It ain't no fun if you don't win. But I agree, it is always a very close. Most of the time, very equal down to the fourth quarter, down to the last play a few years ago, and you know, that's the one that gets mentioned the most to me, and the one that wakes me up at night. You know, but the game is a highly contested, very competitive, very close and equal. You know, cross-conference lines, USA and Sun Belt, in-state rivalry, as you mentioned, and you know, a lot of relationships, but amongst the players and amongst the coaches on both sides of the field that know each other and have worked together or competed against each other at other places. So it is an interesting deal. It's very close communicated.
Obviously, the quarterback battle still open with the depth chart out today. Do you feel good about where the guys are and the one that will eventually lead this team on Saturday?
Well, I do, and I think we've got a couple of three guys really that could add to the plan. You don't need to go playing three quarterbacks. Probably don't need to play too many, two, but we'll probably play two, and depending on how things roll and how hot it is and how whatever else, you know, the other factors that can dictate a decision on game day.
Is this situation similar 4 years ago with Corey taking over? You guys haven't had to deal with this type of situation the last few years. Do you see similarities when y'all named Corey several years ago to kind of how it is now?
Well, you know, that there are several times that we've had to do this, and you know, we have been fortunate enough to be fairly successful in those years, and certainly Corey with a good football team. You know, not Corey by himself, or not this quarterback or quarterbacks this year by themselves, but you know, with a good three-phase football effort, you know, we can win with a new quarterback. So can UAB if they play well and play better than us. Everybody gets to coach and play.
Coach,
It's down.
about the kicking game. Are you satisfied with the way?
I like the way it looks. We always spend a lot of time during the course of practice on special teams groups, and this has been no different. And, you know, all the phases of the kicking game. You know, kickoff, cover, kickoff, return, punt, return, PAT, field goal. You know, the fakes, defending the fakes, all kinds of things that come into play. The return game on both sides, the punt returns and the kickoff returns, and you know, we spent a lot of time off the field and a lot of time on the field in the special teams areas, and understanding that we have won games because of those. And it's a lot of times it's sort of hidden because nobody up here in these stands or in those stands in Birmingham is keeping up with field position based on a punt or what net punting is during the course of the game, or any of those other factors. Where is the average starting point for a team coming receiving a kickoff, the kickoffs, whatever. There's a lot of things that people don't really care about in the game that are good fans, but they don't understand how important that phase is.
Talk about how hard it's going to be there in Birmingham and the bigger guys that'll take a toll on. Do you feel good on the defensive line front that you guys have enough guys that can rotate in there and kind of stay fresh in 95 degrees?
Well, we're hoping that we got enough. I think so. Well, these guys got to be in shape, pretty good shape. And what we'll do this week is we'll try to expose them to the heat, but we'll not stay out there long. And you know, and then I don't want them to be shocked when they walk in the stadium up there on Saturday morning at 10 o'clock to warm up. You know, it's going to be hot. I don't whether the reports that I've seen haven't predicted it to be quite as hot as it was early this week, but you never know. It could be blazing, play on words, blazers, but or it could be a rainstorm or something like that that could cool it down a little bit.
Last time up there it was cold, rain and
Right, it was plenty hot early, and rain came, and everybody got through it and turned out good.
I'm really excited. I mean, like a bunch of the guys have said, we've got some great quarterbacks back there, all three of them, and I have a lot of confidence in all three of them. I think any one of them can get the job done, and it's gonna be interesting this Saturday to see. You know, I feel like we're gonna play all three of them. We're gonna get some good reps, and we're gonna see who's really gonna be our bell cow. So I'm excited.
Is there any concern about not knowing specifically who your starter is and who the main guy was like you've had in the past?
I don't think so. I haven't heard anybody talk about it, and I don't feel that way, especially up front. All of them get reps with the ones during practice, and basically, I mean, like Coach Edenfield said a couple weeks ago, there really is no true ones anymore. I mean, you've got 20-something guys that can play with the ones every Saturday, so it's nothing that we've really looked into as far as, you know, are we uncomfortable with this guy or comfortable with this guy. I think it all works out well.
Is it good for Troy that, you know, there's been a history of rotating quarterbacks, especially as soon as last year? So is that help that there has been a rotation in the past?
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, it's not uncommon for us. You know, recently you've heard of guys that have been talking about going to a 2-quarterback system, and people are kind of starting to get worried. They think that, you know, well, they can't find their true starter. They can't figure out who their best guy is. But I don't think that way at all. I mean, we've had some success with it, and I think we'll be fine if that's what direction the coaches want to go. And if not, then we'll be fine that in that regard too.
Of course, it's game week. You're opening up against UAB. How nice is that to finally get out there and play some football?
Oh, it's awesome. A bunch of guys have said it already. Kind of tired of hitting on each other. Definitely tired of hitting on our defensive line because they've given us some good work during camp. But yeah, I mean, for me, it's really exciting because I'm from the state of Alabama, so it's good to play an in-state rivalry like that. And I'm just really excited to get this season off and go, and I'm excited to see where we're going to be at.
It's always interesting to watch the offense run at the pace that it runs, but I don't think a lot of people realize how much rests on the shoulders of the center and making line calls and making them quickly. How well have you progressed in that?
It was something I really had to get used to. When I first got here, I played a little bit of guard and center, more guard. So last year, rotating with Evan McKissick a lot, he taught me a lot on setting the tempo, along with Kyle Wilborn, who I backed up in 2011, I think. But yeah, I mean, it took a little while to get used to, but now it's kind of second nature. Actually, the guards helped me out in making a lot of the calls, and my main thing that I have to do is get up to the line and make sure that we're playing fast, call out the front, and then they help me with my head's between my legs, waiting for the quarterback to give me the signal. So it's kind of a team effort as far as the interior guys. But I mean, I've gotten used to it. It's not a big deal anymore, but there is a lot of responsibility. It's kind of why I like playing center. So
the unit as a whole, cohesively, how are you guys feeling right now?
Great. We've got a lot of really good guys up front. Unfortunately, I don't think Luke Lawrence is going to be going with us this week, but you know, we've got 9 guys plus more that are going to play this Saturday for sure, and it's going to be awesome because I mean, we need those guys. We play so many snaps, and we're bigger guys. It takes a toll on us. It's hard to play over 80 snaps with, you know, just 5 guys solely. So especially at the pace we play. So it's going to be great. We've got a lot of guys that have been around for a while, and we're really close, along with, you know, some new additions with Ethan Hudson. And we're going to be fine. We're going to be good. And one thing that the coaches have done a really good job with this fall camp is everybody's getting work at different positions. You know, I've played some guard every now and then. Dalton's played center and guard. Ethan's played center and guard. Chris Hawkins, he's played guard and tackle. So everybody's getting a lot of work everywhere. So we've got a lot of really good depth to start off the year with.
Defense as a whole, I mean, we have been sharpening on, you know, different schemes we're running. Man, we were preparing for UAB, Jacksonville State, and South Alabama. We don't really know what they're coming out with. So, as a whole, we were coming together as a group on and off the field. And I mean, we're looking better, a lot better than last year, especially.
Can you elaborate on kind of like the differences between last year and this year, especially because last year defense was kind of a point of improvement?
The biggest difference is the leadership and accountability of the players. The coaches made it a big point that we need to be accountable with each other. And especially off the field, because a lot of off the field issues are the reason why we did have the season that we did. And I mean, I feel like that does, carry on to the field. So I mean, definitely accountability and the leadership that we have in the locker room, even if it's coming from the offensive side of the ball. So I mean, leadership was definitely a big key in us, growing together as, as players.
Talk about the game itself. Talk about this big rivalry game. How much excitement does that add to this game, playing an in-state rival like this?
Oh, it's always, the intensity is always high, especially with it being in-state. You see a lot of familiar faces from guys, especially the guys that are from Alabama. They have a lot of friends that play for UAB and attend to the school. So, I mean, the fans are wild, and it's just a great atmosphere. It's college football. We all love the game, playing the game we love, and do it on a Saturday in front of a bunch of people that, we're familiar with. So it's just always a great environment.
Ultimately, though, is it you just happy to be able to hit on somebody?
Oh yeah, definitely. You get tired of beating up on your teammates, man, and just having a new face to hit. I mean, just a new player, anything different. It feels good to experience.
We know the offense is always capable of putting up a lot of points, but how important is it for the defense to really set the tempo on that side of the ball?
Definitely a big key in what we're trying to do, because as we know, offense wins game, defense wins championship, and that's the ultimate goal, is to win a championship and go to another bowl game and get back to the Detroit tradition.
You guys brought in several JUCOs, to add depth on the defensive side of the ball. Have you seen kind of a deeper side on that defense?
Definitely, especially up front with the D-line. I mean, we brought a lot of guys in from JUCO, and they have adjusted to the system real well, and they fit right in the schemes that we're running. And I mean, they come out hard, work hard every day in the weight room, and I mean, they're going to be a big add-on for us. And in the secondary with the DBs and the corners, we have a few guys from JUCO that have definitely stepped up, and they're showing playmaker abilities. I mean, that's what the coaches are looking for, and we as players, we cling to that. So, I mean, it's definitely good for our defense.
Coach Blakeney mentioned the heat being a factor. How much of a factor do you think he's going to play?
The heat, I mean, you really can't prepare for it, honestly, because the heat is the heat. But somehow, some way, we got to play through it. This is what we do, day in, day out through fall camp. It was hot. Just about every day. We had a few days off, but I mean, it was hot every day. You just got to push through it and try to hydrate as much as you can. And I mean, the game itself should push you through, the intensity of the game. So I mean, we'll enjoy that anyways.